Those against say no. The volume of the work is making me speed up. Honourable members, the ayes have it.
An Act to repeal the Electronic Transfer Levy Act 2022, Act 1075, and the Electronic Transfer Levy Amendment Act 2022, Act 1089, and to provide for related matters.
Honourable members, the motion is adopted. The Electronic Transfer Levy Repeal Bill 2025 is now read the third time. Yes, Majority Leader.
We'll take the revenue. Oh, which item is it? Revenue is which item?
That's motion number 52.
52. Motion number 52.
Honourable members, second consideration of the Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025. Second reading. Yes, Honourable Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025 be now read the second time. Right Honourable Speaker, the object of the Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025 is to amend the Revenue Administration Act 2016, Act 915, to reduce the percentage of the total revenue that is set aside by the Minister responsible for finance in the Ghana Revenue Authority General Refund Account. Mr. Speaker, on the use of tax refund in the last 8 years reveals that 29.11 billion Ghana cedis has accrued to the account, with only 12.5 billion Ghana cedis, representing 43%, has been used for tax refund purposes. The Speaker, government therefore seeks to reduce the current ceiling on tax to the Ghana Revenue Authority General Refund Account by 2 percentage points, from 6% to 4%. Right, Honourable Speaker, I so move.
Honourable members, motion.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I second the motion.
Honourable Ranking, because it's the chairman of the committee that will be presenting the report at second reading. It is the chairman who should read the report, and this motion being a motion for second reading is not seconded. So I will call on the chairman of the Finance Committee to present the committee's report.
Mr. Speaker, as the Finance Minister has indicated, the main objective of this bill is to reduce the amount set aside and accruing to the general refund account at the Ghana Revenue Authority for purposes of refunding general taxes that are qualified to be refunded. Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister indicated to the committee that over the years, he's realized that even though we have been accruing 6% or up to 6% in the general refund account, the amount that have been disbursed over the years show that we really don't need all that amount of money. And he wants part of that money to be available to be disbursed for other government activities. He indicated that for the last couple of years, there is a total of 28 billion that has accrued to the account, and only 12 billion have been spent so far. Under the circumstances, he wants to reduce the ceiling from up to 6% to from up to 4%. This will make available a room of about 3.8 billion as a fiscal impact of this bill. Having considered the rationale behind this policy, the committee agreed that this bill should be recommended to the House for approval on a unanimous basis. Mr. Speaker, I so submit the committee's report and wish to plead that the entire report should be captured as though same was read to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the motion for second reading was moved and the committee's report has also been presented. It is for the consideration of the House under Standing Order 167. I will then open the floor for full debate. Yes, the ranking member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we support this amendment, and that is why at committee we recommended this for consideration by the House by unanimous decision. What I'd like to correct, however, is an impression as if this is going to make a savings for the government of about 3.8 billion Ghana cedis, as stated in paragraph 6.6 under fiscal impact analysis of the bill. The minister indicated to the committee, as captured by this report, that between 43 to 49% is usually spent. And according to the Revenue Administration Act, Section 63, subsection 3, what is not spent at the end of the calendar year should be moved to the consolidated fund. And so if based on that, the minister has reduced the percentage of what should constitute the tax refund from 6 to 4%, the 2%, which is resulting into what the minister calls savings, is already supposed to go to the consolidated fund. It's already part of government revenue. The only thing the minister has decided to do is to front load the utilization of the 3.8 billion. If he did not decide to front load it, it would have gone into the consolidated fund. And that is articulated very well in the Revenue Administration Act. And therefore, to suggest that this is a saving as a result of the new policy, and therefore suggesting that something great has happened, because of this policy, Mr. Speaker, I beg to differ. And I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the discussion.
Yes, Honorable Deputy Finance Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just listened to the immediate past Finance Minister, and I want to quickly respond by saying that, yes, he rightly said that the excess amount that is not utilized for tax refund purposes is to be refunded into the consolidated fund. The question is that over the last 8 years, was it ever done? Did you ever refund the excess amount into the consolidated fund? The answer is no. And it is because of this that the finance minister says that looking at the trend, we don't need so much into the tax refund account. And the most important point is that the excess amount bypasses appropriation. It is spent on things that are not appropriated by this House. And so the minister wants to be disciplined about expenditure and says that, look, let us put everything back into the consolidated fund so all of you here will get the opportunity to appropriate it. That is the difference. So that is the amount that is now available for us to spend. And as they all said, look, Mr. Speaker, another important point that must be made is that some suggested that the law is clear, that it is up to 6%, a ceiling of 6%. So we don't necessarily have to transfer 6%. Administratively, we could have decided to do less. But the finance minister wants to be disciplined and resist the temptation of doing what is wrong. And that is why this is being brought here for all of us to set the ceiling at 4%, which is consistent with the amount that has been utilized over the years. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Ranking Member.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm questioning the statement that this is savings.
Honorable Member.
He's talking about something else.
Honorable Member, point of order does not allow you to question.
Well, Mr. Speaker, point of information. Because I was talking about the fact that it is not any savings. The law says that what is not spent should go to the consolidated fund. So that is part of government revenue already. What the minister is seeking to do is to front load the spending of the 3.8, but it is not savings, Mr. Speaker, unless they have a different definition of savings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Finance Minister.
Mr. Speaker, first, I want to put on record that the tax refund amount is not part of total revenue. It is always treated as negative revenue in the fiscal. Mr. Speaker, the tax refund amount of 6% has always been treated as a negative revenue. So the revenue that has always been reported excludes that 6%. Mr. Speaker, number two, in the past, the amount accrued into the tax refund account has been misappropriated. Misappropriated in the sense that the Revenue Administration Act is so clear as to what you can use the tax refund account money for. So, Speaker, by failing to spend, and the Speaker, most importantly, by sticking to the law alone, what you have done is that you have saved the taxpayer some money. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't understand what the former Minister of Finance is trying to say. Mr. Speaker, definition of savings. Savings is savings. We do not have different definitions for savings. If in the past, monies that were supposed to be used for tax refund purposes was, for some reason, used to pay for certain contractors, and another government decide not to use the money to pay a particular contractor, and you don't call this savings, then what it is? So, Speaker, what it is? The difference is that we have decided as a government not to spend the money on things that has not been appropriated. We have decided to spend the money for the purposes of tax refund. And so, Mr. Speaker, we have made money available, additional money available for appropriations. And so, if he doesn't understand that this is savings, Mr. Speaker, I don't know the definition of savings. Mr. Speaker, we have made savings from abuse. We have stopped the bleeding. That's what we have done. And that is savings. And if you want us to go on that road, we'll go on that road to define what savings are. Mr. Speaker, in the past, some of these resources was used to pay for services that we do not have contract for. For services that we do not have contract for. Going forward, we are saying we are not spending on that. And so going forward, that expenditure that we have cancelled, we have saved it. That is savings. That is savings. That is the definition of savings. And so for me to put it in proper context, for you to understand, that is savings. So if you don't understand that is savings, it's up to you. But we have made savings. Going forward, we will not use the taxpayers' money for these purposes. Simple.
Honorable Brana Champon, with reference to Standing Order 115, why do I give you the floor where you are?
Mr. Speaker, a point of information. It's quite simple on what...
Why Speaker, should I permit you to speak? That's why I'm making reference to Standing Order 115.
Mr. Speaker, I'm craving your indulgence to provide information. 112...
Honorable Honorable member, read standing order 115.
Mr. Speaker, I come on 112. In his place.
Honorable member, read standing order 115.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'm supporting leadership on this very important matter of e-levy. And
Honorable member, in the presence of the minority chief whip, you cannot be available leader.
Yeah, it was at my call.
Honorable member, let the member speak from his place, in line with our own standing order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, this is a matter of savings. And all we're saying, we don't disagree with the finance minister what he wants to use the revenue for. It's at his discretion and it's a matter of policy. But the statement that savings is being made is what we are dealing with. And these are the facts. Mr. Speaker, when we pass appropriations, we don't include the tax refund because it is not at the time revenue of government. It is refunds that are supposed to be paid back to service providers or companies. So we don't add it or we don't appropriate it. But at the end of the period, that amount of money, whatever is left, is added back to the Mr. Speaker, what we do with it going forward is a matter of policy. But it is not, whatever is left is revenue that is now clawed back into the consolidated fund. So it is, if the previous government, if the money goes into the consolidated fund, Mr. Speaker, that money will be spent on roads, will be spent on health, will be spent on whatever. So if the previous government was spending the money on any other thing, Mr. Speaker, that is allowed. But what it is that extra money that is not refunded, that is going back into the consolidated fund, cannot be classified as savings.
How is it savings?
It is because it is not savings. It is part of government, it becomes part of government revenue. You have not saved any money. If you have 10 cities to pay back to MTN, and MTN, after reconciliation, you have to pay them 6 cities. The 4 cities remaining, Mr. Speaker, can never be classified as savings. That 4 cities is paid back into government revenue, as revenue, not as savings. You have not saved any money. So it's not as though another government, and if that 4 cities goes into the consolidated fund, you can spend it on roads, you can spend it on health. So it is not as though a previous government, which is spending these 4 cities on roads, on health, or other things, is being reckless. Because you have not saved any money that you are now going to tell the whole world that the 4 cities savings that the 4 cities revenue that we are going to pay back into the consolidated fund, Mr. Speaker, it is savings, and therefore because the other government spent it, they were reckless. This is not savings. It is money going back into the consolidated fund, and we are happy for the finance minister to use it or to add it as part of appropriations to spend it anyhow he so desires. But it is no new savings that have been made. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I think that we should not allow the tax experts to bamboozle us in this chamber today. You cannot be allowed to convert this chamber into a tax lecture hall. What is savings and what is not savings? Mr. Speaker, I have listened with my primary school common sense. And what I understand them to be saying, both of them, is that there's a law that says that we should keep 6% for tax refund. Now, out of it, you refund people whose taxes you have to refund to them. Then when you keep the money, when you finish refunding and there's still a reserve, at the end of the year, you now transfer the money into the consolidated fund. Now, those who are saying that there's no savings are indicating that when you transfer the money into the consolidated fund, you haven't saved the government anything. You have simply relocated government money. That's what I understand your argument to be. Then I'm also listening to the finance minister, and he says that when you actually transfer the money to the consolidated fund, then you give all of us in this house an opportunity to take a decision how to spend the money. Do you get the point? But that the practice has been that they don't send the money to the consolidated fund to give us an opportunity to decide that the money should go to free SHS or Mahama Care or any such program. So what they do is that the finance ministers keep information about the availability of this money from all of us, and they singularly spend it the way they want. And sometimes they even spend it on contracts that have not been approved. So it becomes discretionary spending money available to a finance minister. So on this occasion, I'm using my elementary basic school knowledge. This is my elementary basic school knowledge to do the analysis. This is elementary basic school. And I'm using primary school knowledge and I understand it very well. So his argument is that by declaring that money to us so that we can take a decision to spend in the consolidated fund, that amounts to having saved the money and made it available to us to take a decision. Mr. Speaker, this is my understanding of the discussion. But let's move on, Mr. Speaker. Let's move on. I think there is support for the consideration, the third reading, for the second reading of the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025 is now read for the second time.
An Act to amend the Revenue Administration Act 2016, Act 915, to reduce the percentage of the total revenue that is set aside by the Minister in the Ghana Revenue Authority General Refund account and provide for related matters.
Honorable Majority Leader, after reading the Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025 for the second time, what next?
So, Speaker, we will now take item 53 to abridge time so that we can take it through the consideration stage.
Very well. Honorable Finance Minister, procedural motion number 53.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that motion advertised as item 53 be now taken. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, motion duly moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion advertised in paragraph 53. Thank you.
Honorable members, this is a procedural motion. As many as are in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Yes, Majority Leader.
So, Speaker, we'll take item 54.
Honorable members, Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025 under consideration. Yes, Chairman of the Committee. Chairman of the Committee. Yes, we'll do, but I want to find out from him whether he has Clause 1 of the bill. Chairman of the committee.
Section 69 and Act 915 amended.
Mr. Speaker, there are no amendments.
Honorable members, there is no amendment. But in line with the interpretation of our laws by the Supreme Court, it is Clause 1 is now for the consideration of the entire House. Yes?
Mr. Speaker, how can members make amendments if you are now being given the copies of the
Honorable members, at consideration stage, the rules are relaxed. So with my leave, you can propose an amendment to the bill. That is the practice. Honorable Patrick Boma, you know when it comes to legislation, you must reckon with me. Honorable members, there be no amendment to Clause 1 of the bill. It is accordingly ordered to stand part of the bill. Honorable members, Clause 2. Honorable members, Clause 1, 2, and 3 are one clause of the bill. Then I will move to the long title.
An act to amend the Revenue Administration Act 2016, Act 915, to reduce the percentage of the total revenue that is set aside by the minister in the Ghana Revenue Authority General Refund account and provide for related matters.
Honorable members, the Revenue Administration Amendment Bill, long title, is for the consideration of the House. There is no advertised amendment. Honorable members, in the absence of any amendment, the question is, as many as are in favor of the long title, say aye. Those against, say no. The long title is accordingly ordered to be part of the bill. Honorable members, we have come to the end of consideration stage of the Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025. Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, we want to abridge time so that we can take the third reading. So, motion 55 to be moved by the Minister for Finance.
Yes, Honorable Minister responsible for Finance, motion number 55 at page 13 of today's order paper.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the procedural motion advertised as item 55 be now taken. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, motion accordingly moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. Honorable members, again, this is a procedural motion. The question, therefore, is as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we will now take it through the third reading. Item 56.
Honorable Finance Minister, item number 56.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025 be now read the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, motion moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the entire House. Honourable members, the Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025. Honourable members, the question is, those in favour of the motion say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it.
An act to amend the Revenue Administration Act 2016, Act 915, to reduce the percentage of the total revenue that is set aside by the Minister in the Ghana Revenue Authority General Refund Account and provide for related matters.
Honourable members, motion adopted. The Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025 is read a third time and passed. Yes, Honourable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we'll take item 58.
Yes, Honourable Finance Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Emission Levy Repeal Bill 2025 be read the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, the motion for the second reading of the Emission Levy Repeal Bill 2025 now read the second time. I would call on the chairman of the committee to present the committee's report.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. The rationale for the repeal of the emissions bill is that the committee observed that the government enacted the Emissions Levy Act 2023, Act 1112, to impose the emissions levy on carbon dioxide equivalent emissions from specified internal combustion engine vehicle emissions. However, the levy had raised some concerns. The minister indicated that it is the policy of the government to re-engage the stakeholders in order to formulate a proper environmental reforms that would enhance government's approach towards dealing with the emission challenge. As a result, the minister appealed to us to recommend to this House to repeal the levy. Mr. Speaker, the members of the committee were unanimous in recommending to this House to repeal this levy. Mr. Speaker, I submit but appeal to you to capture the entire report as though the same was read on the floor. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Honourable members, the reports consequential to the motion duly presented by the chairman of the committee and under Order 167, full debate shall arise on the principle as well as on the report. So the floor is now open. Yes, Minority Chief.
Speaker, let me speak in support.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak in support of the motion for the repeal of the emission levy. Mr. Speaker, the committee thoroughly discussed this levy, or this bill, and the proposed amendments thereof. We recall that this Parliament passed the emission levy, but the implementation of which was put on ice. In other words, we did not have the opportunity to implement this policy, and the report rightly captures it when in analyzing the fiscal impact of the policy stated that it was not implemented, but if this bill or this act was implemented, it would have resulted in a revenue loss of 386.36 million Ghana cedis. But following the non-implementation of this particular law, the revenue loss, I mean, the fiscal impact of this particular policy is revenue, it is revenue neutral in the fiscal framework of government. Mr. Speaker, but the much more issue about taxing carbon dioxide emission has to be thoroughly discussed by this House. The Minister assured us in his presentation that there is a framework determined to ensuring that we have a framework for taxing emission of carbon dioxide. And if that is presented, what this bill or what this act was supposed to cure was to actually make the polluter pay for the pollution of the environment by the payment of a token. But with the abolishment of this particular act, it means that the polluter will not have to pay for the pollution of the environment. And that is something that this House will have to look at. And that is something that the Minister actually promised the committee, that he's going to come up with a framework where internal combustion engines would have to be paying the requisite fine or requisite levy to cater for the pollution of the environment. That said, Mr. Speaker, the committee was unanimous on this particular matter, and we fully support the repeal of this particular law. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Prayer.
Speaker, let me speak in support, but just to make a few observations. At the committee level, I'm told, and one can reference the report, that the minister had made a representation that the law was not enforced, so it was not implemented. And he has also indicated that he will engage further on the matter. I think it's important he does that, because now the designation of our Minister of Energy has now been changed for a very good reason. Minister of Energy and Green Transition. And the narrative globally is that e-liability has become a concern of the world. And he referenced the concept of polluter pay principle, which is globally accepted. We need to look at it well. We need to look at it well, because now experts have told us that emission level, even though our part of the world, our emission levels are negligible, one pollution in one part of the world is pollution in the entire part of the world. So it cannot be the case that we are comfortable in our comfortable zone, so to speak, and say that our emission levels are low, and therefore we should compound the situation of emission. We need to look at it again, because there is a flip side of the coin where, Mr. Speaker, if we are able to control emission, we stand to benefit and rake in a lot of grants at the international level. So in the context of the carbon trade and control of emission. So, Minister, I'm happy you indicated that you are going to consult further. There are cross-cutting issues. The Ministry of Environment, the Energy Ministry, and the Finance Ministry should find a common place and the best approach. I recall the majority leader earlier on has said that we should buy into this and rake in some revenue to support if I'm not far from right, the insurance intervention we had want to stage in lieu of members of parliament. So this is important, but we have to get it right. And Ghana cannot be different amongst the Committee of Nations. The world is gravitating towards a certain end, and we should be careful in our approach towards emissions. When we talk about emission, we have to be very careful. Speaker, I'm very passionate about this because of my background, and we cannot sit in this room as members of parliament and allow these things to go without making comments. So, Finance Minister, pay particular attention to this matter, because the positive aspect is more if it is implemented in a way. We see a tax. It's very positive. So we should find a fine balance to
what did you just say? Who see what?
That didn't come from me. He was leading me. He was taxing me, but I didn't respond.
You spoke into the microphone.
He was saying initiate tax. It came from the finance minister, but
who say means what?
I don't know, Speaker. He said it. Probably he can explain.
Honorable Minister for Finance, what's the meaning of Wusie?
Mr. Speaker, this particular tax is known by most Ghanaians as a Wusie tax. The Wusie means smoke, carbon dioxide, smoke.
Okay.
So it's a tax targeting smoke. That's why some Ghanaians decided to refer to this particular tax as a Wusie tax.
Okay. Thank you very much, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, if I understand this tax, Wusie tax,
Wusie.
it is obvious that my very good friend, Honorable Abena, who was at the Finance Ministry, was looking for money everywhere. She was looking for money everywhere, to a point where, even when I smoke, she wants to tax me for smoking.
Honorable Majority Leader, don't invite the former minister into this.
But, Mr. Speaker, on a serious note, we really need to look at the issue of pollution and figure out how to deal with that by finding creative ways of implementing the polluter pays principle so that others don't pollute and others pay the price of pollution. I believe that the time was not right to consider implementing a tax like that, and clearly that informed the decision not to implement it when it was passed. So, Speaker, even though it wasn't implemented, I'm told that if we are to implement it, we'll be taking away 386 million Ghana cedis from the pockets of ordinary Ghanaians. If we are to implement it, we'll be taking away 386 million Ghana cedis from Ghanaians who may pollute the environment. Mr. Speaker, we don't want to encourage pollution of the environment, but at the same time, we don't want to impoverish Ghanaians, because this tax would have caught the Aboboya riders, it would have caught the Mahama Kandu riders, it would have caught the Okada riders. All these, after toiling in the day to haul us from one location of the city to the other, would have ended up having to part with some of the money to us by way of payment of this tax. By repealing this legislation and not even creating a platform for it to be implemented, we are leaving 386 million Ghana cedis every year in their pockets. Mr. Speaker, this is the physical impact of this legislation, and I support that we repeal it and we do not consider taxing Oboboya riders, Okada riders, and those who end up, emitting. Mr. Speaker, I think there's support for the second reading, and I urge colleagues to vote for the second reading. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the second reading of the emission levy has been thoroughly debated, and at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is carried.
An act to repeal the Emissions Levy Act 2023, Act 1112, and to provide for related matters.
Honorable members, the Emission Levy Repeal Bill 2025 is now read the second time. Can we move to motion number 59? Before then, Honorable members, permit me to acknowledge the presence of our dear students sitting in the public gallery from various institutions. Honorable members, first on my list is St. Paul's Catholic Basic School, led by Susanna Jenny Kofi, headmistress of the school. They are from Mfansimai, they numbered 61. Second institution, Mount Sinai Senior High School, led by Mercy Amu Dakwa, headmistress. They are from Ekwapim North Constituency, 60 in numbers. Students are also from Kibi MA Experimental Basic School, led by Joseph Owusu Boating, Josephine Owusu Boating, headmistress. They are from Abuakwa South, 64 in numbers. Last on my list is Akenton RC Basic School, led by Jima Ba Joseph, teacher. They are from West Akim constituency, 120 in numbers. West Akim. Education there. They can ask them, how would they know? How would they know? Yes, Honorable Member of Parliament, you want to help us as to...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It's Lower West Achim.
Okay.
Lower West Achim.
So they are from Lower West?
Yes.
Achim.
For the past 24 years, Lower West Achim has passed through Parliament. This time around, the 4 years ahead of us, Parliament is going to pass through Lower West Achim. This is the first of its kind. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, motion number 59. Minister for Finance. 59.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that procedural motion advertised as item 59 be taken now. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member, procedural motion accordingly moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Honourable members, the motion is moved and seconded, and this is a procedural motion. The question, therefore, is as many as are in favor, say aye. As many as are in favor, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. Honourable members, item number 60 at page 14 of today's order paper. Emission levy repeal bill at consideration stage. Members, clause 1 of emission levy repeal bill 2025.
The Emission Levy Act 1112 repealed.
Honourable members, clause 1 of emission levy repeal bill 2025 is under consideration. Yes, Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, we have no amendment.
Honourable members, clause 2.
Savings.
Honourable members, clause 1 and 2 of the emission levy repeal bill is under consideration. Any advertised amendment? There is no advertised amendment. Any proposed amendment? No proposed amendment. The question, therefore, is yes, Honorable Haruna Idrisu.
Speaker, since yourself you belong to the modern drafted, clause 2 says a right. Is it any right or a right? Says a right. Says a right. That's why the repeal of
Honorable Member, it's
right.
for the chairman to answer, but once I am invited, the principle is that we draft in singular.
Okay.
So a right is correct. Honorable members, there be no advertised amendment, no proposed amendment. The question, therefore, is as many as are in favor of clause 1 and 2, standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Clause 1 and 2 of emission levy bill 2025 stand part of the bill. Honorable members, long title.
An Act to repeal the Emissions Levy Act 2023, Act 1112, and to provide for related matters.
Honorable members, the long title of the Emission Levy Bill, Emission Levy Repeal Bill 2025 at consideration. Any proposed amendment? There is no advertised amendment. Honorable members, the question is, as many as are in favor of the long title standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The long title of Emission Levy Repeal Bill 2025 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Honorable members, that brings us to the end of the consideration stage. Honorable members, motion number 61. Honorable Finance Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that motion advertised as item 61 be moved now. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, motion accordingly moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, this is a procedural motion. The question, therefore, is as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is accordingly carried out. Honorable members, item number 62 on the order paper.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Emission Levy Repeal Bill 2025 be now read the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the third reading motion for the Emission Levy Repeal Bill 2025 is moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, the motion is moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. Honorable members, the question, therefore, is as many as are in favor of the motion number 62 on today's order paper at page 14, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The Emission Levy Repeal Bill 2025 is read for the third time and accordingly passed.
An act to repeal the Emissions Levy Act 2023, Act 1112, and to provide for related matters.
Honourable Majority Leader, any indication?
So, Speaker, we will take the income tax amendment bill.
Members, item number 64.
64.
Honourable Finance Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that the Income Tax Bill, Amendment Bill 2025, be now read the second time. So, Speaker, the object of the bill is to amend the Income Tax Act 2025, Act 896, to remove withholding on winnings from lottery and on purchase of unprocessed gold. Mr. Speaker, government, as part of the reforms of the tax system, is instituting measures that would improve disposable income of persons by reducing the tax burden. Right Honourable Speaker, the removal of withholdings on winnings from lottery will result in additional income to individuals who benefit from winning from lottery. Also, the removal of withholding on purchase of unprocessed gold is expected to free up the market and encourage small-scale miners to sell their gold to the government so that the government can help to curtail smuggling. So, Speaker, it is also important that for the record, I state for the record that, Mr. Speaker, lotteries in the Income Tax Amendment Bill has been defined as follows. Mr. Speaker, if you are to look at the Income Tax Amendment Bill, lotteries means a scheme where rights are sold to take part in a draw by lot for prize including betting, gaming, and any game of chance. Right Honourable Speaker, it is important that I make this point. Speaker, I make this point to clarify that lottery in the instance of the Income Tax Amendment Bill includes betting, gaming, and any game of chance. So lottery does not only relate to lotteries, it relates to gaming and betting. The Speaker, this amendment is far more than what the NDC party promised in our manifesto. The Speaker, in our manifesto, we promised to remove betting tax, which is a subcomponent of the lottery tax, withholding tax on the lottery. The Speaker, what we have done is that we have not only exempted or removed the tax on betting, but we have also removed the tax on gaming and also on lotteries, the everyday lotto. So, Mr. Speaker, it's 3 in 1 and should not be construed that this tax is only removing taxes on betting. We've gone more than betting so that members can understand. Mr. Speaker, aside, and most importantly, it is also important for us to understand that this Income Tax Amendment Bill is also removing the 1.5% withholding tax on processed gold from small-scale mining. Speaker, this is particularly important because over the years, Ghana has been witnessing large-scale smuggling of gold. So, Speaker, the smuggling of gold is not certainly coming from the large-scale mining firms. It is coming from the small-scale mining. So, Speaker, some of the reasons that account for the smuggling of gold include the withholding tax. What we are saying is that, just like we've done in the past for cocoa, we can use this tax measure to remove the export tax, withholding tax on export of gold, and for government to target the forex flow. And we believe that this removal will allow the Ghana Gold Board, when incorporated, when Parliament approved, to be able to attract the gold, purchase the gold, sell the gold, and bring the forex to support the economic development of Ghana. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
All members' motion accordingly moved. I will therefore call on the chairman of the Finance Committee to present the committee's report.
Mr. Speaker, I present aspects of the committee's report and request that the whole report should be captured as though same was read to the House. Mr. Speaker, the rationale for the bill, the committee observed that in 2023, Section 6 of the Income Tax Act, as amended, imposed withholding tax on winnings from lottery. The committee noted that the withholding tax adversely affected the disposable income of citizenry, especially those who realize income from lottery and betting. In order to improve the disposable income by reducing the tax burden, government has introduced the bill to repeal the tax on winnings from lottery. Mr. Speaker, in addition, the bill intends to remove the 1.5% withholding tax on processed gold. Mr. Speaker, the aspect on the gold is meant to ensure that we reduce smuggling of gold and also to facilitate the establishment of an impending Ghana Gold Board. Mr. Speaker, it is anticipated that the government will lose about 268.75 million in revenue from the letting winnings and 145 million from unprocessed gold with the removal of these taxes. After deliberations with relevant stakeholders, the committee is of the view that the amendment is in the right direction and therefore should be supported. Mr. Speaker, the committee unanimously recommends to the House to adopt this report and approve the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025. Mr. Speaker, I so submit.
Honorable members, motion move for the second reading committee report presented. I will now proceed to open the floor for full debate under Standing Order 167. Honorable members, the floor is now open. Yes, Honorable Ranking Member.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm very happy that the Minister has provided enough explanation on this, because there have been some somersaulting, one after another, since the budget was presented. In the budget, the Minister said government was abolishing with a withholding tax on the lottery win. Then when he came to present, to lay the bill, he said government was abolishing the tax on bet wins. Today, he's telling us that it is not just bet wins, but also the other games of chance, including Lotto. And that clarification, I think, is very useful. Because in laying the bill, if you said you were going to abolish the withholding tax on bet winnings, which is just one of the winnings from lottery, then that, in my view, is different from what the Minister was talking about today. And so, because we know that bet winnings is just one of the winnings from lottery, but I remember very well in presenting the bill, in laying the bill, he said bet wins, which is what the NDC promised in their manifesto. Today, we have heard from the Minister that it is not only bet wins, but wins from other lotteries, games of chance, and I think that clarification is important. The report also indicated that, Mr. Speaker, the tax on lotto winning was not collected, and he is going to engage with the National Lotteries Authority to discuss modalities and put in mechanisms to collect this levy. That's also significant, but I will want him to go beyond this to tell us what modalities, because it's been a long-standing issue. And I was hoping that the minister would provide some details on the modalities for implementing the wins from the tax from wins from lotto. And to that extent, Minister, if you cannot do it now, we can discuss it later, how to ensure that that is also collected. But since you are abolishing it, then I'm wondering why that statement in the report. I may want to read, Mr. Speaker, the part of the report talking about this. Paragraph 7.6. First of all, 7.5. The committee was informed that though the law was in force, it was not applied to the winnings from lotto, giving rise to outstanding tax obligations in existence. 7.6. The minister agreed with the committee and stated that there was the need for further consultations on the matter. He indicated that he will hold discussions with the National Lottery Authority on the way forward, and the appropriate decision will be made. This is in the report. And so if you are abolishing it, I'm wondering what kind of engagement or discussions you need to have with the National Lotteries Authority on the way forward as far as the withholding tax on winnings from lotto is concerned. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the report says that the committee was informed that though the law was in force, it was not applied to the winnings from lotto, giving rise to outstanding tax obligations in existence. Outstanding tax obligations in existence. So that is to say that presumably there should be tax obligations that are outstanding, some monies that were paid and etc., which still has to be paid because it has accrued. And so the discussion about engaging National Lottery Authority to see the way forward is in relation to the outstanding tax obligations. So I think that is the context in which the report should be read. Mr. Speaker, once again, we continue today a very blessed day in the month of Ramadan, the last 10 days. There are many people who prayed last night that going forward, God should bless their pockets. God should save their revenues. So, Speaker, today we are passing legislation that is increasing the disposable income of families and individuals. The fiscal impact, the amount of money that the state was going to withhold from these people, the state is allowing them to go away with their money, increasing their disposable income. So, Speaker, we are losing $10 billion to the smuggling of gold. Sometimes you sit here and our institutions capture that we have exported $100 million worth of gold. You go to the receiving countries and they say that they have received $1 billion worth of gold from your country. Clearly there is a discrepancy. How did they receive $1 billion worth of gold when your record here is that you exported $100 million worth of gold? It meant that the $900 million worth of gold must have been smuggled. So, Speaker, this is what we are seeking to address by taking away the withholding tax so that Ghanaians can freely transact in their gold and record it and return the money into the system so we can stabilize our currency and fully benefit from our natural resource. And Mr. Speaker, for those who were exporting it going through the normal channels, they had to pay this tax. Mr. Speaker, we are leaving more money in the pockets of those people. The state is no longer going to tax small-scale gold miners because we are abolishing the tax and the withholding tax, and they will now have the money in their pockets. This is a government that is giving more money to ordinary people, to small-scale miners. We gave money today to Okada riders by abolishing the emission tax levy. All of us who have been paying money in respect of E-Levy, today we are taking that away by approving the legislation. So, Speaker, now we are also making such facilities available to small-scale miners by abolishing the withholding tax. So, Speaker, we continue to implement our promises to ordinary Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, with those few words, and I believe colleagues support the second reading of the income tax amendment bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to add my voice to the debate on this bill. Mr. Speaker, it is early days. It is early days. Now we hear our friends praising themselves, claiming that they are fulfilling their campaign promises. They are selective fulfillment of promises. But I need to remind them that what they are attempting to do is not new to this House. In 2017, when the Akufo-Addo government presented its first budget, there were a lot of taxes that were repealed. And for the records, as many as 15 taxes and levies that were in place and had been in place through an enactment by the previous Mahama administration had to be repealed. So if today they are here with some fewer amendments to our tax laws, well, we would want to encourage them to do more. We are aware that in their time, Kayaye was even taxed. We are aware. We are aware. Agro inputs, including the tools that the farmers use, cutlasses being used by the farmers in Boko were taxed. Hoes were taxed. Import duties on spare parts were very burdensome. Mr. Speaker, if today they claim they are abolishing some taxes, well, to the extent that it's going to benefit the ordinary Ghanaian, we support it. But what they have forgotten is that this tax itself, this repeal, has been rendered, the law that allows for this 1.5% tax to be imposed on those in that industry is just about being rendered otious with the coming into force of this gold board law. Yes. Mr. Speaker, they should not do that. They are mischief. We know them. You are bringing this gold board, and you know that because you are introducing this gold board, which gold board is going to be a buyer and a regulator.
I recognize the chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, is it the case that he is supposed to come in? I just want to know.
Honourable member, he is the chairman of the committee. He presented the committee's report.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, I just needed clarity from you.
Yes.
Okay, so he's up on a point of order.
Yes.
Is that the case?
Yes, that's why I recognize it.
Very well.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to correct an anomaly that my leader is stating here. The gold board does not impose taxes. This is about a bill that was imposing taxes that we are removing. The gold board bill is to set up the gold board, but not to impose or remove taxes. I just wanted to make that clarification. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honourable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I repeat the point that with the coming into force of this gold board law, this very law that is being repealed will be rendered odious. So nothing is being done in real terms. Practically, this government is not doing anything. Mr. Speaker, we want to see proper exemptions being granted to the industry players, and we want to see that in the gold board law, which is coming. That is what we want to see. But we also are aware that there is this special import levy extension from 2025 to 2028. Yes, we know. So you see this attitude of attempting to give one, take more, give one, take more. Just like the way they do their You see, this Ndada attitude, we can read in between the lines. I want the finance minister to rise on a point of order against this submission that they are going to extend the special import levy from 2025 to 2028. I want him to deny it for records that he is not going to do that. Because it's very important for importers. I want him to commit that there will be no extension.
Honorable Minority Leader, you know the rules. In your comment, you cannot invite any member of parliament to comment on your submission.
Mr. Speaker, it is I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker, it is a rhetorical political statement.
Well, I invite the finance minister to comment on what I am saying. I don't know how rhetorical this question will be.
Mr. Speaker, you want to get into the debate?
Well, that is what I am resisting. That's why I'm saying that make your submission without necessarily inviting anybody to comment whilst you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I will be pleased to hear him respond to me on this. I don't mind at all, and I'll willingly yield to him. Because
Honourable Member, that is why I am saying that you don't have that responsibility of inviting anybody to take to get on his feet and comment on the statement that you are making. Go ahead with your submission.
Very well.
Having in mind Standing Order 167.
Mr. Speaker,
in relation
I've always had
the second debate on the second reading of the bill, where we debate the principles and comment on the report.
The debate at this stage is at large. That is where you discuss all matters. And I'm saying that this is really nothing in real terms. That is my submission. And I further submit that this government is not really a government that cares about the ordinary Ghanaian, because importers who are expecting an end to this special import levy will be disappointed, because the government is going to extend that levy from 2025 to 2028. That is my submission. So it's just a matter of giving one and then still taking more. Because I heard the submissions of the majority leader. He says now the disposable incomes of the ordinary Ghanaian in the business environment is going to be high and all. And I'm saying that in reality there's nothing like that. This government is not proposing anything new by way of relief to the private sector. The private sector can only thrive if government is really giving them a breather. We hear they are even cancelling the 1D1F policy, which would allow tax exemption to achieve real growth. To achieve real growth. They are not committing to that. We have businessmen, we have entrepreneurs who need such exemption so that the cost of production can go down, so that they can employ more, so that they can sell cheaper for the ordinary Ghanaian to benefit. And you are cancelling this initiative. Then you come back and say that there's a 1.5% taxes you are taking and we should applaud you. Go to the private sector. Interact with members of the Association of Ghana Industries. Interact with members of the Chamber of Commerce. Interact with the ordinary Ghanaian businessman. What kind of consultations did you do? They are the ones who are suffering. And they are the ones that, if indeed you need to provide support to the private sector, you should attend to them. You are not doing that. Have you interacted with the Kantamanto businessmen? Have you interacted with the importers? And then you come here and you say, the government is living up to its promises, its disposable income is going to go high and all and all and all. Mr. Speaker, without more, I shall rest my case and look forward to a proper tax legislations that would benefit the private sector. I am for the private sector, and I don't think that this government is for the private sector. I so submit.
Honourable members, before ceding the floor to the finance minister to conclude, let's advent our minds to Article 1066, which reads, the report of the committee, together with the explanatory memorandum to the bill, shall form the basis for a full debate on the bill for its passage with or without amendment or its rejection by Parliament. Honourable members, Standing Order 167, premise on Article 1066 that I have just read, states that when a motion is moved that a bill be read a second time, a full debate shall ensue on the basis of the explanatory memorandum and the reports from the relevant committee. So it is the explanatory memorandum and the report from the committee which should be considered at the second reading of a bill. Honourable members, I do not think at second reading the debate should be at large. Honourable Finance Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to put some comment in proper perspective. Right, Honourable Speaker, the emergence of the Ghana Gold Board will not mean that the tax, the withholding, 1.5% withholding tax on processed gold from small-scale miners will be rendered odious. Mr. Speaker, I vehemently disagree. Mr. Speaker, rather, if we fail to amend this particular Income Tax Act, the Ghana Gold Board will now become a withholding agent, taxed with the responsibility to withhold 1.5% of all unprocessed gold. Mr. Speaker, I'm talking of tax law. Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to understand that small-scale gold miner, if you do not remove this particular tax, that small-scale gold miner will, Mr. Speaker, at the minimum, will have to pay 1.5% amount of the gold that they will be selling to the Ghana Gold Board. Gross, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what I'm trying to say is that this gold, as we have established.
Honourable Minister, I recognize the ranking member.
Mr. Speaker, I'm coming on point of order. Mr. Speaker, we are not talking about the appropriateness of abolishing the 1.5 or not. What we are saying is this. They laid a bill in this House to seek to establish gold board when the bill is passed. In this bill, there are two proposals. One, that the gold board would be the only body that can export gold. And secondly, the gold board will be exempted from taxes. And so when passed by this House, the 1.5% is non-existent. And so why would we create the impression that we are abolishing the 1.5 when, as a policy, government-owned policy, makes it unnecessary, as if it will not even exist? That is the point we are making. But as for supporting small-scale miners and miners generally, we are not opposed to it. You rather want to support the Galamsey people, and we will make sure that we do not promote Galamsey in this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So, Honourable Ranking Member, I want to understand, if the establishment of the Gold Board will make the tax non-existent, and the law makes it in existence, is that not the reason for which we should repeal it?
Mr.
Finance Minister, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, to answer, Mr. Speaker, we could have just waited to pass the gold board bill into law. After all, they have brought it under certificate of agency. They brought it under certificate of agency. So why will you not wait for us to pass the gold board bill into law in order for
Finance Minister,
the tax to become moot? And yet we are telling the Ghanaian people that we are abolishing that tax for political advantage, which is not the case, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the ranking member is completely out of order. The Speaker, after here, maybe I will take him through how withholding taxes are being collected. The Speaker, the incident on the withholding tax is on the miner and the person selling the gold board. Go and look at the law. The Speaker, withholding tax, this withholding tax in particular I'm talking about, the incidence of that tax is on the miner and the person selling the gold. It is not on gold board. The incidence is not on gold board. What the gold board bill is referring to, the exemption of Ghana Gold Board from the payment of tax are other taxes, not withholding taxes. Mr. Speaker, I made reference to withholding tax on unprocessed gold. Who sells the gold to the gold board? The gold board is going to employ aggregators. Aggregators are going to buy the gold from small-scale miners. The incident is on small-scale miners, not on the gold board. Mr. Speaker, so what we are saying here is that the aggregators who are buying the gold, or whoever the Ghana Gold Board will be buying the gold from, after this one, we are exempting them from the payment of tax. Mr. Speaker, that is what we are trying to say. Mr. Speaker, today, if you are to sell an unprocessed gold, the law is that you have to pay 1.5% withholding tax.
Honorable Minister,
that is what we are trying to say.
Honorable former Regional Minister.
The new Finance Minister, first and foremost, should understand that the aggregators for MEF, as we speak now, do not pay, do not pay the 1.5. PMMC, that was also aggregating for Bank of Ghana, do not pay the 1.5. So what we are saying is that if you are bringing the gold board into existence and they are going to be exempted from paying it, then there's no point in making it look as if you are doing a favor to any miner. That's all, because under the MPP, we have already done that for the miners. So all the mining companies, the small-scale miners, we're not paying 1.5 through the aggregators. And that's all that we are saying, because we knew that gold was money, all other things are credit. And therefore, there's no point for them to be paying the 1.5. So, Mr. Speaker, that's all that we are trying to get to. Yes, it's not a very important amendment.
Mr. Speaker, it is refreshing to know that the aggregators were not paying tax. Mr. Speaker, they have breached the law. Mr. Speaker, it is only Parliament that can exempt someone from the payment of a tax. And so, Mr. Speaker, what was done in the past was an illegality. And so, if you want to continue with illegality, continue with it. Mr. Speaker, it was wrong for a tax law to impose an obligation and for an individual to administratively decide to exempt someone. Mr. Speaker, that power is with Parliament. And so all what we are trying to do here, Mr. Speaker, is to exempt the small-scale miners. And by doing so, we are improving their disposable income. That is a fact. Mr. Speaker, that is a fact. And Mr. Speaker, for the record, the minority leader in his submission said that he was rather expecting us to allow 1D, 1F, and then the tax exemptions. Mr. Speaker, 1D, 1F, we all know that those tax exemptions were basically abused. Mr. Speaker, the evidence will be before this House in the last Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the last Parliament, I was the ranking member of the Finance Committee. We saw how it was abused. So please don't go there. Mr. Speaker, for the record, as Minister of Finance, I am not going to continue with 1D, 1F tax exemptions because the evidence before this House suggests that it's been abused badly.
And so we don't want to go there. If you want to carry it, you were in office for 8 years. 8 years. You couldn't approve it. You couldn't deal with it. It's been abused, and we don't want to continue. So let that be.
Yes, Honorable Minority Leader. Yes, Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, yes, the Finance Minister, remembers his days as a minority leader. Instead of taking notes and listening to the views opposite him, he is still arguing and standing his grounds as though he is an opposition leader. Mr. Speaker, he may have to pay attention. The issue of tax exemption is so dear to the private sector. In his budget statement, nothing was introduced for the private sector. He knows that. He knows that. If you are saying that the system was being abused, it's different from arguing that the system in itself was not fit for purpose. Get the argument right. You are mixing and missing the points. We are dealing with the private sector. You say you want to create jobs. How do you create jobs? You don't create jobs through sacking people in the public sector and replacing them. You create jobs by giving incentives to the private sector. That is the reality. If you grant tax exemptions, what you are literally doing is to allow the companies to have more money available. You are talking about disposable income. You are talking about disposable income. But you've forgotten that if you grant tax exemption and you have a monitoring mechanism, Mr. Speaker, what it means is that the private sector can thrive by taking advantage of that. So, Mr. Speaker, the finance minister should not confuse us. What we are saying is that this repeal is a much ado about nothing. Simplicity.
Honorable members, going forward, point of order should really be a point of order. Honorable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025 is read the second time.
An Act to amend the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896, to remove the withholding on winnings from lottery and on purchase of unprocessed gold, and to provide for related matters.
Honourable members, as indicated, the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025 is read the second time. Honourable Majority Leader, should we move to procedural motion number 65?
Very much so. Very much so.
Honourable Finance Minister, motion number 65.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that procedural motion advertised as item 65 be taken now. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, the motion is moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Honourable members, the motion is moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, this is a procedural motion. Therefore, the question is, as many as are in favour, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Honourable members, item number 66 at page 15 of today's other paper. Honourable members, the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025 at consideration stage.
Mr. Speaker, we don't have any amendment.
Honourable members, as usual, today I have mentioned the case of Ozuama versus Attorney General. That the Supreme Court says Clause 43 of the Narcotic Control Commission Bill has not been debated by this floor. Therefore, it is unconstitutional. So, honourable members, I want to go through the clauses one after the other. Honourable members, Clause 1.
Section 6 of Act 896 amended.
Honourable members, Clause 1 of the bill. There is no advertised amendment. Any proposed amendment is for the consideration of the House. Any proposed amendment. Honourable members, there be no proposed amendment. The question is, as many as are in favor of Clause 1 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. Clause 1 is ordered to be part of the bill. Honourable members, may I have your pleasure to take Clause 2
Section 85
and clause 3 of the bill all together?
Section 85 of Act 896 amended. Section 115 of Act 896 amended.
Honourable members, there is no advertised amendment. However, these clauses are for the consideration of the House. Any proposed amendment? Yes, honourable member? Honourable member, I thought you are on your feet. Honourable members, there be no advertised amendment. There be no proposed amendment. The question is, yes, honourable member? No, you got up on your feet. When I called you, you resumed your seat.
I was coming under. Mr. Speaker, I'm coming under Order 64 of the Standing Orders. And Article 102 and Article 104. Mr. Speaker, it is right that when these orders are invoked, Mr. Speaker, you know where we are heading, that the quorum is called to question. So, Mr. Speaker, as obvious as it is, I want to urge on the House to reconsider whether this sitting can go on. And in the circumstances, we do not form the quorum. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to move that perhaps we consider rising or adjournment, perhaps to see if the majority that they can get some in the House, and perhaps business can continue. Mr. Speaker, I move accordingly that...
Honourable members, in line with Standing Order 64, I will ask the table office to ring the bell. Clerk, please ring the bell. Honourable members, let's make progress. Honourable members, there be no advertised amendment. Say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. Clause 2 and 3 shall stand part of the bill. Honourable members, long title. Then what I have is not up. Honourable members, we have clause 4 and 5 of the bill. Honourable members, may I have your pleasure so that we take clause 4 and 5 together?
Section 119 of Act 896 amended. First schedule of Act 896 amended.
Honorable members, there is no advertised amendment. However, the clauses are for the consideration of the House. Honorable members, there be no proposed amendment. The question, therefore, is all those who are in favor of clause 4 and 5 being part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, I think the ayes have it. Clause 4 and 5 shall stand part of the bill. Honorable members, long title.
An Act to amend the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896, to remove the withholding and winnings from lottery and on purchases of unprocessed gold and to provide for related matters.
Honorable members, the long title of the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025 is for your consideration. Honorable members, there is no advertised amendment. Is there any proposed amendment? Honorable members, there be no proposed amendment. The question, therefore, is as many as are in favor of the long title standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The long title is ordered to be part of the bill. Honorable members, we have come to the end of consideration of the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025. Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
Right, Honorable. Let's take 67.
Honorable members, motion number 67.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that motion advertised as item 57 on today's order paper, page 15, be taken now. I so move.
Honorable members, the motion is moved. Any seconder?
Yes, Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. Honorable members, this is a procedural motion. The question, therefore, is as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Yes, Majority Leader. Item number 68.
68, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Finance Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025 be now read the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the motion is moved. Any seconder?
Yes, Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. Yes, Honorable Member, under Order 64, I ask that they should ring the bell for 10 minutes. Yes. Honorable members, the motion is adopted. Motion number 68. Honorable members, the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion number 68, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted.
An Act to amend the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896 to remove the withholding on winnings from lottery and on purchase of unprocessed gold and to provide for related matters.
Honorable members, the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025 is read a third time and accordingly passed. Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
So, Speaker, can we take a 30-minute suspension?
Yes, Honorable Majority.
So, Speaker, can we take a 30-minute suspension?
Yes, Honorable, what is your pleasure?
I'm asking for a 30-minute suspension, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, I'm strongly in opposition to this call. Speaker, the challenge has been, from yesterday, the challenge had been the availability of the report. We have enough reports. We have, as of the last count, we have about 5 reports ready. We should take them. What's the need for break? Who? No, but, well, that can be looked at. That can be looked at. But I'm saying that we have reports. We can work. No, when a call for quorum is made, there's a process. We haven't exhausted the process. So let's work. We can continue to work. Let's work.
Honorable Member, when your leader is speaking, you can also be on your feet. Yes, what is the issue?
Speaker, it's just a very generous reminder that the 10 minutes is up.
Honorable Member, the application and the reference is for suspension of the House. That is the issue under consideration. So please, kindly resume your seat. Yes, leaders, what's the pleasure?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, just a 30-minute suspension, and then we'll come back very soon.
Honorable members, Honorable Minority Chief Whip, you cannot be giving something with your right hand and then be taking it with your left hand. Honorable members, I am inclined to suspend the House for 30 minutes. The House is accordingly suspended for 30 minutes.
That was a live coverage from Parliament on the repeal of some bills, that is the E-Levy bill, together with some other bills which has been approved by Parliament subsequently. And that'll be it for now. Newsfeed is at 4:30 to bring you more on that particular stories, plus others. Please stay.
I am the general manager of the station, and I'm here representing the managing director, Mr. Samalata Mensah, who unavoidably is absent. He sends his apologies because the confirmation of this meeting happened at a time where he was already out of the country. So he sends his profound apologies. Having said that, we are here with a strong delegation from our side. Our board member, your own daughter, Auntie Koko Amatefio, is here with us. Auntie Koko, please. We also came with an 8-member management delegation. I'm very proud to say we are here with our programs manager for television in the person of Mrs. Apioko Ashong Abe. Apioko is a Ga. She's from Bone on Sea. She's very happy to be here as well. We're also very proud to have our events manager. She's in the person of Miss Frima Edunjame. Thank you, Frima. Now, we are also here with our sales manager and business development manager, who is in the person of Mr. Omani Mensah Bonsu. Our human resource manager is also a proud daughter of Bone on Sea, in the person of Mrs. Jennifer Nabake Anani Insia. We are also very privileged to have a lady I'm sure you've seen, because I know your interest, Your Majesty, in the media is very keen. She is in the person of Mrs. Vivian Nakai Loko. And of course, our technical director is also a proud son of the soil. He is in charge of all our technical work. Our manager in terms of technical television, Mr. Joseph Bernard Alote. And last but not least is a man I consider the face of the station, who's been with us from the beginning. Also a proud son of the soil, Mr. Richard Mensah. Everybody knows him as OJ, Ochame, with respect. So thank you very much, Ochame. Ovane.
Oh, yeah, ma. Kema, iya no pe, una shwele mo ye mam. Ko una meni bongo pe. Bobana ka ulele ma eyim ni wonyeme ni ji City FM ke chana wa aloje na kaji sane amike lele ameka ne be ahun kame wo amike wose amike ne ken shamike ngmene be fengbe ni abia sumaye kote bi afade no wulu sani amika mena na ba godembo ami koni be agbele ame bona feni ka leno kenuko e chata ni nyawo ni sana metashi ni chawana si sana mbanna che wolele mina mechanic bia awon mefe amene agbese biye koni che ale amakelele amameye no fun of a lady jo swande jo gbakaju e amikele iwo kewo wa bie ne me no ka ba bieji captain sandra pani
we are here for 3 reasons. The first reason is that we've been working in Accra for many years. Indeed, our chairman and founder, Nikamate is a son of the soil. And we've been working for Madagascar since 2004. And we also have an office at Tesam since for the past 4 or 5 years. As the custodian of Accra and Ghana, we believe that since you ascended the throne, we ought to have come to congratulate you. You've not done that. So indeed, one of the reasons why we are here is to say we are sorry for not coming earlier. So our first mission here is to greet you, pay official courtesy call on you, and to thank you for the honor you've brought to the Ghana state in the way you have managed the affairs of the area. We have brought a few drinks of the very highest stock, Castle Bridge Snaps, and a couple of other vintage alcoholic drinks that we have placed on top of the non-alcoholics, which I'm sure will be very useful to His Majesty and his subjects. And we've also brought a token amount, which we will not disclose, to just say thank you for the opportunity and the access we've been given. So this is what we have brought as a show of respect and our honor of His Majesty's kindness. In a nutshell, these are the 3 highlights: our on-air programs, our heritage caravan, and then our back to your village food bazaar festival, as we call it. And to top it all off, to start that on the 28th of February, we will be doing a very small launch of the month. So we are also using this occasion to inform the palace, because it's not such a big event, to just send a rep to witness this majestic launch. And then hopefully we will see you during the program for the month of March. So Ochami, this in a nutshell is our mission. Thank you.
Yo chani again. Nature is the name of the flower. When you may need City FM. Agbene Channel 1. Me ha me manye. Afi na bote mi ne mimba jomo wulu ken ha me. Ni amenichumo na metwa ashe. Ni ha me manye na me fe momo ni pano anina. Amego na mego na.
Na enya fe momo ni pano anina. Amego ni na.
Amejibua amejeni.
Ina ekenge jibua eji.
Ameyekwa amenue amekodia no adwa ame.
Nkenge yeko no mekodia no adwa.
Mekwaji na agla afimu ne fe eba hwa amejidona.
Bebi na ga enyo pa mfenya agla afimu ni fe afo mani ni ba hwa amejidona.
Ameyi ameboa ni wonye wokpeda wacha.
Bebi ye boa e bori nye nge yo ni boa no bori wokpeda e mashi.
Ya jameyi he odase akeshin. Wajigbe wachuni ojogba.
Bori nye yibu dase mo mwake ye na ke nye bane ye na ke bi e chaki. Nye bane bi e fe nye o bori nye na le ifenye yibu dase.
Ya ji mancheme ni ogan mene ape.
Majanche mefe afi ubi wana afi kuni gan keye yi woke ni oje ba ni ba ngba fita yi tuni gan aye yi.
Ya jigbese dumo gansense ni sempe dumo gansense ni abola dumo gansense ni asine dumo gansense ni akamaje dumo gansense no tublo hun dumo gansense nkaje bie kan shi shraw fe dumo gansense ija shameli akashi ato na gbena no kokura bedon.
Me ni ngenu ni gan cha me gbe ni fe be che yi yo yi alo che me ni yo yi le ke bu gan wo ke me gbe ke je sula ke ti nga ke je obutu ka gbe ada sula ye lu ke ma ja ti le fe be che me ni bete alo che me ni do ma me kon le ke so mo ni
78 years ni Asante ni nye efa ina nekeba na Kamanji.
Afi ni ma ipa ke ba o ke pa ni otufo alo Asante manje fe na ni ke batani ni ni safle ni na ke ipa ni ke nlele wo nu fe o maye ni fe ni kusani ke ha wo se bi wo ni abeba ni
Ya wo share bi ene.
So mo be ni kula.
Ni wo je no kunshin.
Wo ni ga e afo fe de ro osisi
si wo kenye wo no le yanwe
ake ni ga ke e kenye wo le yanwe
kenye yenye boa nchumo papa ni wo chuo ya hidumi
nchumo pa na chuo re kenye yenye boa be ba hidumi ma jile na wo be nyonye kenye ba ni kenye ya wo na fi ko ni nchumo na chuo mo ke noni aba chuo ko ke ya nye efi kan ni bi fina
won suma me ni wo ke ame acha ne ke ya ne ni bo fe bo ni jenye heritage month ne wo ke wo he wale rapia
ke nyo ni ko nye fon ni wa lu ogun adisa ni ko sanji ke ni bi ko ku ni wo fe ke ba wo ke chebe ni so fe ba wo ba ona fi ko ni efi ko manye
selen ke sani abomode na chonga ke dangbe school ni ye ga ke dangbe fe
ni sele e ga fi to aba ke isani ga yegun ke dangbe ni mo ye ga ko ba ni no fe sani anya chon ona fi ko ni ga ke dangbe ni mo anya aishi ni you go go akateke ga ke dangbe ni
akese amatra ga sikola ya lala fe mindamesi ojuba
akeni yeke foni ake obu ade lalai ke shikula lalai ni mene ebe ni onani me fa yeke foni na ke no le fe ni ba jile ko ni ma bi fe ana won kame ke da mi ro ni papa ni wo yo to shida ni no.
We are grateful for coming to honor us this morning. We do not take it lightly because the Ghana state has suffered several casualties for hosting the capital. And you and us must corporately form a bond to show the good things, the good work, the progress that has come since I sat on the stools of my forefathers. We need you as partners to be able to spread the message that the Ghana state must unite at all costs for purpose. Sometimes we hear news, and this news is very disturbing. And basically, it just creates disaffection and lack of trust, even for investors' ability and their appeal. We're asking you that instead of towing a certain line, join us to build a Ghana state. Join us to think about the Ghana girl child. Join us to think about the future of the Ghana state. Like I have said, we have become vulnerable for hosting the capital. And we believe that if you join us in this partnership, we should be able to change the lives of every child in this state, ensure their rights to education, ensure their rights to a clean environment, ensure their rights to being able to be self-resilient or, yes, we need you in this partnership. So don't stay. Come like you have come this morning. And we appreciate it a lot. Most of the chiefs are not here this morning. But we will find a better time. This Heritage Month, we would collaborate with you. We will be part of it. We will support it and make sure that our ethnicity is not lost. Our identity is not lost. Our language is not lost. Our morals are not lost. And us as Gans and Dangbes will never be lost. Cha no manyaba.
I want to say yes. We are ready. And we do. Thank you for restoring the glory of the state, and we see it in all the things you do. And so we are here to be part of it. And so we use our resources to push the agenda, whether it's the girl child, whether it's culture, music, whatever you want us to do, to partner you to rebuild and restore place of the citizen because of all the effects of bringing the capital here. We hear you and we say it shall be done. Thank you very much.
Good job in the car, man.
I mean,
Ago. 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 Get ready as we take you back to your roots to experience the food, music, dance, games, and many more at the Back to Your Village Food Festival. The dates are 29th and 30th of March 2025. Time is 10 a.m. right through till 6 p.m. each day. The venue, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, AMA. Follow all Channel 1 TV and 97.3 CDFM social media handles for updates with the hashtag Back to Your Village. Entry is free, so see you there.
The best blood tonic you can get.
The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by Gino, Koa Natural Cocoa Fruit Juice, Pan-African Savings and Loans, Chibu Water, Trillium Industrial Company Limited, and Contract Cleaners Association of Ghana.
Let's get into the world of sports like never before.
You know how we do it on Fridays.
Join us every Friday at 7 p.m. on 97.3 City FM for Sports Panorama, your ultimate destination for all things sports.
One of the biggest scandals in this country's history. Yeah. You can't spend 250 million USD and come out with that.
From the thrill of association football to the excitement of basketball, tennis, athletics, and even emerging sports, we cover it all. Whether it's the Premier League or the latest NBA showdown, we bring you the stories behind the stars.
Getting an opportunity to become a national team coach, you should understand the politics around football.
And don't miss the prayer of the rabbi.
Joe was Zebal. How Zebal there? Zebal won
We're not just about the games, we're about the community.
If you are going to be given this kind of treatment, then you need to be that guy. When I look at him play, he is not it.
Or when it's time for Don't Call Me. Join the conversation as we connect with fans across the country and beyond. Want the latest updates? Send us your thoughts and we'll feature your comments live on air. And remember, we like to hear your predictions for matches and your thoughts in general. Think you know who's going to win? Let us know.
Big shout outs to my YouTube people.
Tune in every Friday at 7 p.m. only on 97.3 City FM. Sports Panorama, where sports come alive. Sports Panorama, your weekly sports fix. Don't miss out on the action. Sports Panorama, catch the excitement every Friday.
Get ready as we take you back to your roots to experience the food, music, dance, games, and many more at the Back to Your Village Food Festival. The dates are 29th and 30th of March 2025. Time is 10 a.m. right through till 6 p.m. each day. The venue, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, AMA. Follow Channel 1 TV and 97.3 CDFM social media handles for updates with the hashtag Back to Your Village. Entry is free, so see you there.
The best blood tonic you can get.
The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by Gino, Koa Natural Cocoa Fruit Juice, Pan-African Savings and Loans, Chibu Water, Trillium Industrial Company Limited, and Contract Cleaners Association of Ghana. Looking for the latest buzz in Ghana's entertainment world? Welcome to Ghana Weekend, your ultimate destination for all things creativity and entertainment.
Stay in the loop with breaking news, exclusive interviews, and then insider stories from your favorite creatives and stars. From music, movies, fashion and art, lifestyle and culture, Ghana Weekend brings it all together. Get a daily dose of entertainment, discover new talent, and never miss out on the creativity that defines our vibrant culture.
Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle Ghana Weekend, on X Ghana Weekend, on TikTok Ghana Weekend, at Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube for the latest in entertainment, travel, and everything Ghana. Don't miss out. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, where entertainment meets creativity. Visit GhanaWeekend.com now. This March, we invite you to splash in the pool of cultural expressivity and soak yourself in the celebration of indigenous authenticity in our
Hello and welcome to Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. I am Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Coming up, former Minister for Railways Development John Peter Amewo released after arrest by National Security. Also coming up, Parliament approves Electronic Transfer Levy Bill 2025 to abolish payment. Coming up in business, government enhances regulatory frameworks to boost business environment. And later in sport, Bekumworth MP backs calls for top-level venues to host Ghana Premier League games. Details of our stories now. Former Minister for Railways Development John Peter Amewo has been released after his arrest by National Security operatives on Tuesday, March 25, 2025. Sources told Channel 1 News that the former Hohoe MP's arrest was part of ongoing investigations into the failed SkyTrain initiative. The project, which had $2 million allegedly committed to it, was revealed to have not met its objectives as confirmed by Attorney General and Minister of Justice Dr. Dominic Anyene during a recent briefing on Monday, March 24. Dr. Anyene has since disclosed that prosecutions related to the SkyTrain scandal would begin by mid-April. He has also assured the public that suspects are cooperating with investigators and justice will be served with efforts to recover misappropriated public funds from those implicated. The Supreme Court has adjourned to April 30 to deliver a ruling on an application by Akutia MP Ernest Kumi seeking to quash an interim injunction that was secured on January 6 against his swearing-in. Ernest Kumi ignored the injunction application and partook in the swearing-in ceremony, which later caused the High Court's judge to hold him in contempt. Lawyers for Ernest Kumi argue that the ruling of the High Court judge was based on an error patent on the record, as the interim injunction application was entertained when the court did not have jurisdiction to hear the matter. The bench of 5, chaired by Justice Gabriel Puaman, adjourned the case to April 30 to deliver its ruling on the application. Now, a suspected armed robber has been lynched by angry mob at Edum within the central business district of Kumasi in the Ashanti region. Eyewitnesses say the suspect was apprehended by the mob following his failed attempt to bolt with 2 others after the 3 attacked their victim with a knife and robbed him of his phone and other belongings. Following the incident, the police from the railway police station were called to the scene, where they went to recover the body and conveyed it to the morgue. An eyewitness spoke on condition of anonymity.
I want to be 5:30 to 6 more, no more than 3. It's almost the aquano, but the other one on the chance the kind. It's 2 in the Mujane, and I'm going to a quite away. I really know, I'm to me, no more bono. But I'm telling you, didn't come on. So free a crown either. Abba, Bobo, Obo, Bakudi. I'm friend and a kwame. I saw one of phone up with more as a fool. Overhead Nasi. Interching Nasi. Overhead no de co Sabia, locomo train one. Honor more on Bay Sardian. Area more the Momudia, Mahomatiamo Mukojum. On better to Krumu Hasi, any boss from Modian. Yomo.
The Member of Parliament for Kwadaso, Professor Kingsley Nyakon, is advising President Mahama to stand firm against pressure from the National Democratic Congress that could tarnish his reputation. This urging comes on the heels of President Mahama's consultations with the Council of State, backed by 3 petitions calling for the removal of the Chief Justice Gertrude Saki-Tokonum. Now, still in Parliament, the House has approved the Electronic Transfer Levy Repeal Bill 2025 to abolish the payment of e-levy. The levy, which was amended from 1.75% to 1%, placed a tax on electronic transactions, which included mobile money payment, bank transfers, and inward remittances. During a debate on the approval process, the Majority Leader Mahama Ayaraga says the abolishment of the e-levy has offered an amount of 2 billion cedis to Ghanaians to help improve livelihoods.
The deduction will no longer take place, and government will lose close to 2 billion Ghana cedis. But the 2 billion Ghana cedis that government is going to lose will now come to Ghanaians. So in effect, individual Ghanaians who ordinarily would have lost 2 billion Ghana cedis will now retain their 2 billion Ghana cedis. And government that would have gained 2 billion Ghana cedis by way of deductions from Momo transfers, government will lose the 2 billion Ghana cedis. So this single legislative measure is going to pass on 2 billion Ghana cedis to Ghanaians. 2 billion Ghana cedis.
An act to repeal the Electronic Transfer Levy Act 2022, Act 1075, and the Electronic Transfer Levy Amendment Act 2022, Act 1089, and to provide for related matters.
Honourable members, the motion is adopted. The Electronic Transfer Levy Repeal Bill 2025 is now read the 3rd time.
Meanwhile, Parliament has also approved the Revenue Administration Amendment Bill 2025 to reduce the percentage of total revenue that is set aside by minister responsible for finance in the Ghana Revenue Authority General Refund accounts. Now, owners of vehicles damaged by the solar panel at ANC Mall have flocked to the mall to access and retrieve their vehicles. This comes after the clearance of the solar panel canopy, which had served as a shelter at the car park and collapsed following a downpour on Tuesday. My colleague Samuel Akom was at the ANC Mall yesterday. He joins us today after his visit. Sami, thank you for your time. Now, you were there yesterday,
yes, and
you were there again today.
Right.
What is the situation today as we speak?
Right, as we are all aware, yesterday, after the downpour, the solar panel collapsed onto some vehicles. And so today we visited the scene to ascertain what really was happening. And luckily, when we got there, we noticed that all the panel that collapsed on the vehicles have been taken away successfully. And so we also noticed that some owners of the vehicles were present to assess the extent of the damage that was caused due to the collapse of the solar panels. And shortly after we arrived, we noticed that NADMO officials also came to the scene to also assess the situation, and they had conversations with management, and they questioned as to whether there were casualties, and it was confirmed that indeed there was no casualties recorded.
But let's hear from the Deputy Director of NADMO.
Okay, so in head of the unfortunate incident that happened yesterday due to the rain as NADMO and the lives and properties are very much of importance to us. So we were directed by the Director General to come here this morning to come and see the situation and see if NADMO can be of assistance in it. But thankfully, and thanks to God, I think the situation is an open. So we thank God, no lives were lost. We thank God the situation is under control.
So going forward, what are the plans?
Yeah, so I have my technical, the Director General of Technical is here with us. When we get to the office, he's going to advise us on what exactly to do so that going forward we wouldn't encounter such disasters in Ghana.
So, Sami, this is the NADMO director who was, Deputy Director who was
Right.
at the scene when you went over there. Now, for the victims, persons who had their cars destroyed, what was the situation?
The situation was quite normal. It was expected that, of course, after the incident, they will throng in their numbers to assess the situation. So they came, assessed their vehicles, and then management allowed those who can move their vehicles to move them. But then they have also assured that the insurer of ANC Company Limited will cover the full cost of the damage caused to the vehicles. And so in as
all
much
the
as
vehicles that were involved?
Were involved, exactly.
Okay.
So they are allowed to move the vehicles, go and do an assessment to the extent of the damage, bring the cost, and then the insurer for ANC Company Limited will cover the cost. And the mall have released a statement to that effect as well. But we spoke to the victims and they expressed, how it all happened. They were in the mall shopping, and then they heard the noise, they came out and then saw what has happened. But they are calm because, of course, management have addressed the issue of cost, because that was the question that was in the mouth of most of the victims.
But let's hear from one of the people you spoke to.
We've come because authorities came in yesterday to rescue us, and then today we are on the field checking the damages, and then they said they will definitely repair everything. So everything is okay.
So the ANC Mall is going to cover the entire cost of the damage?
Insurance and ANC Mall.
So for you specifically, what was the damage?
Windscreen.
The windscreen? Yes. So you can move your car now?
Of course, yes.
And then you repair, and then what happens next?
They'll pay for the cost.
Okay.
So that was the victims of the ANC incident, which had their solar panel collapsing on some vehicles. Management has assured that they are going to reimburse them. Sami, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Now, Channel 1 News can report that NADMO officials have cleared the locks at Kotobabi here in Accra after they also witnessed massive destruction following yesterday's downpour. You're still watching Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. I am Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Still ahead, Youth Ministry launches nationwide campaign against opioids abuse. We have details coming up shortly. Please don't go away.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees emergency. Mommy, chop money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans, and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
You're welcome back. This is Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. Let's do some other stories now. The Advertisers Association of Ghana has revealed that over 60% of billboards in the country are unlawfully erected, with their ownership largely unknown. This follows the increasing trend of billboards being mounted at inappropriate locations such as pedestrian walkways and intersections, posing potential hazards to the public. Speaking to Channel 1 News, the president of the association, Andrews Aka, expressed concern over the situation, noting that many billboards installations do not go through the proper legal channels. He warned that failure to regulate these structures could lead to future disasters.
In recent times, our investigations show that most people do not comply by these, and makes it very difficult for anyone to monitor how these things how these illicit billboards are being placed. From our own investigation, we can place on record that there are about 50 to 60% of billboards that we do not know who owns those billboards, which is a question mark that should be a question mark on the conscience of all of us, both the authorities and ourselves who are in the industry, that we can't identify. We strongly believe there are persons who, because of the illicit way of mounting billboards, do not go through the right channels, do not go through the right system to receive the right permit to mount the billboard the right way, so that it can prevent any accident in the future.
The Media Foundation for West Africa has revealed that the 2024 general elections were heavily characterized by misinformation and disinformation. This was disclosed during the launch of the foundation's recent research report, The State of Misinformation, Disinformation, Polarization and State Threats to Ghana on Wednesday, March 26. The Media Foundation for West Africa report showed that allegations of electoral malpractice and violence were the most common forms of election-related misinformation and disinformation during the 2024 elections. Here is the Executive Secretary of the National Media Commission, George Sapple.
Particularly useful, seminal in the sense that this is the very first time that we have detailed analysis on the phenomenon of disinformation, not only from an anecdotal analysis, but proper research into the phenomenon. So we at the National Media Commission are going to treat the reports with a lot of seriousness. Going forward, the expectation is that we'll be able to bring all stakeholders together to implement the recommendations. My advice to media is that journalism survives on its head. So at all times, let us try to tell the truth. And that also includes fact-checking those who seek to convey disinformation to destabilize the society.
The Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment has launched a nationwide campaign against the abuse of opioids among young people. This initiative follows recent disturbing trends on social media where some youth have been seen in dark conditions due to the intake of opioids commonly known as Unim Red. Speaking at the launch of the Red Means Stop campaign, the Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opariado, announced that the ministry is collaborating with the National Youth Authority and the Youth Employment Agency to embark on a nationwide campaign.
This gathering is not just an event, it is a clarion call to action, a collective commitment to safeguarding our youth's future and by extension, the destiny of our beloved Ghana. This is Ghana against drugs. Let me speak plainly. We are at war, not with guns or weapons, but with a silent, creeping epidemic that is stealing the dreams of young people. Opioids and other harmful substances are not just chemicals. They are thieves that have come into our various homes to steal the future of this country. We need all our partners to join us. The National Youth Authority, together with the ministry, including the YEA, I'm dragging all the agencies on board. We will visit every region, every constituency, and make sure our foot touch there, campaign, preach, and make sure that everybody gets to know this.
This is Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. Up next is Business with Netele Nete Ajaho. Good evening, Netele.
Good evening.
What's the latest in the world of business?
Okay, the government says it is taking steps to enhance regulatory frameworks to create a more conducive business environment as part of business regulatory reform programs. According to the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, the initiative aims to simplify business operations and drive private sector growth by eliminating bottlenecks and improving efficiency. Speaking at a World Bank event in Accra on the theme, New Insights on the Business Environment in Ghana, exploring the World Bank's Business Ready report, Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari reaffirmed the government's commitment to fostering a business-friendly economy.
The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry is implementing a comprehensive business regulatory reform program, BRR. The initiative is designed to tackle systemic challenges, streamline existing business regulation, and ensure the quality and coherence of new regulations. This reflects the government's unwavering commitment to removing long-standing barriers that have hindered businesses in Ghana from realizing its full potential. The ideals of BRR program underscore the importance of today's conference. This conference provides us the opportunity to discuss transformative initiative that has the potential to redefine our businesses, drive sustainable growth, and position Ghana as a regional leader in economic competitiveness. Our commitment to democracy, reform, and sustainable development would earn us a reputation of a regional leader, no doubt. However,
now, government is being urged to take swift action to prevent potential natural gas shortages following Tullow Ghana's commencement of a 16-day maintenance shutdown on the Jubilee oil field. Market analysts within the energy sector warned that the temporary halt in the production could lead to a deficit of approximately 50 to 90 million standard cubic feet of natural gas, potentially impacting power generation and industrial activities. Speaking to Channel 1 Business News, Executive Director for the Center of Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Nsia, cautioned that without timely intervention, the shutdown could exacerbate Ghana's energy challenges.
The maintenance of FPSO is going to lead to some supply disruptions with respect to natural gas inflows. This particular company, which is Tullow, from FPSO Kwame and Jubilee supplies about 50 to 90 million standard cubic feet of natural gas. So when there's going to be a maintenance for 16 days, what it means is that there's going to be a shortfall of about 50 to 90 million standard cubic feet of natural gas from this particular source. And this particular situation is even being compounded by the suspension of full flow of natural gas from Nigeria, because WAPCO says that we are in certain areas, and until we pay those areas, they were not going to give us a full flow of natural gas. So we are losing natural gas from Nigeria, and we are also losing natural gas from FPSO Kwame Nkrumah. That means that our demand, which is around 400 million standard cubic feet per day, will now be around 300 million standard cubic feet a day.
And that's all for business. I am Neteli Nete Ajaho.
Next is sports with Bernard Abeyukuoche. Hello, Abeku.
Hi, Ajay.
What do we have in the world of sports?
No, the MPs are talking about important matters we raised initially in relation to playing the games at specific venues. So the stadiums that
But the specific venues, you can count them. Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast.
Yeah.
Exipon is not working. So
absolutely.
We have limited stadium.
Yeah, so I mean, if we should categorize clubs in regional basis and play, I think it would be better.
Please give us the details.
Shall we now? The Member of Parliament for Brekum West constituency, Dixon Shredia, is backing calls for top-level venues to host Ghana Premier League games. And he said he's seen an exclusive interview with Channel 1 Sport in the aftermath of the Ghana Premier League's return following multiple weeks of suspension stemming from the death of Asante Kotoko supporter Francis Pole Frimpong at Instratraman's league venue. Honorable Tredia believes that only infrastructure that ensures safety are the only ones that should host league games.
Exactly so. I've been saying that over and over, that we should implement the club licensing regime to the letter. Facilities that are not fit for purpose should not be allowed to host matches. You know, when you're talking about security, the stadium architecture, the structure also contributes to security on its own. So if you have stadia facilities that are not fit for purpose, the rules should not be bent. Let us apply the rules. If you have 18 premier clubs and only 6, 7, 8 centers are fit for purpose, other teams should be compelled to move to such facilities until the time that their own home grounds meet the club licensing regime requirements. So I think these things are issues we need to enforce and we need to ensure, because if it is about FIFA, if it's about CAF, you cannot play. We are witnesses to what happened to us in September 2024 when CAF rejected this very facility and all the other 4 facilities, Cape Coast, Tamale, Kumasi, and Esipon, until some facelift was given to this for us to get temporary license to play. And we need to continue improving this facility to meet the standard. Likewise, at our local league centers, we need to get the facilities in place. We need to get it right.
Now, the winners of this year's 32-team Club World Cup to be held in the United States will earn up to $125 million US, FIFA said on Wednesday. World Football's governing body had announced earlier this month a total prize pot of $1 billion US for the June 14 to July 13 event, significant in the current climate of financial regulations for clubs. About half of the $1 billion US total will be divided between all 32 clubs, with the amount per club based on sporting and commercial criteria. meaning clubs such as Real Madrid and Manchester City will receive a greater percentage than smaller clubs in a model FIFA developed with the European Club Association. Oh, that's the very latest from the world of sports, and I am Bernard Abegoche.
And that's it for Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. I am Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Pleasure coming your way always.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the Channel 1 Countdown.